As a man, your testosterone level is a major driving force in your overall health and well-being. Not only does it define your ability to gain muscle, lose fat, and express your sexuality, but it's also a key component in keeping your mind sharp and your attitude positive. In this video, I'm going to go over 7 scientifically proven ways to naturally increase your testosterone levels and move you towards a life of more energy, strength, and stamina. Tip number 1, start skipping breakfast. But wait, isn't breakfast the most important meal of the day? This is what I believed for years, alright? I used to believe that eating multiple small meals throughout the day was the key to firing up my metabolism, losing fat, and staying healthy. These notions, however, were quickly laid to rest as I discovered the benefits of intermittent fasting. Did you know that digestion is actually one of your body's most resource-intensive and complicated functions? By skipping breakfast and strategically extending your overnight fast, you allow your body to allocate its resources towards other important tasks like fighting inflammation, removing waste material from cells, and facilitating cellular recovery. As per the effects on testosterone, studies have shown that a short-term fast can boost testosterone levels by 180%. Now keep in mind that this is just a short-term spike, and it's not like your testosterone will remain elevated at this level over the long term after just one day of skipping breakfast. But I can tell you that over the course of my own testosterone optimization journey, intermittent fasting has played a very important role. Not only in balancing my hormones, but in allowing me to consistently drop fat while continuing to enjoy large and appetizing meals. How is that possible? Well, with intermittent fasting, you're essentially eating fewer meals per day during a shorter time window, and this automatically facilitates a caloric deficit, which is the golden rule of fat loss. And at this point, intermittent fasting has been part of my lifestyle for over 2 years now, and I highly recommend that you experiment with it as well. Getting started is as simple as choosing an 8-hour window and fitting all your meals within that window. So for me, this means that I have my first meal at 12 p.m. and my last meal before 8 p.m. This is also known as the 16-8 method of intermittent fasting, which was popularized by Martin Berkham over at the Lean Gains blog. And this is also the style of intermittent fasting which is the most heavily researched and most proven style of it. Alright, so if you haven't yet, I highly recommend that you experiment with it for your fat loss and your hormone optimization goals. Alright, tip number 2, eat more dietary fat. The amount of dietary fat in your diet is very important for testosterone because cholesterol molecules literally form the building blocks for testosterone synthesis to take place. Now, cholesterol has been demonized with claims that it clogs your arteries and causes heart disease, but consider the results from this meta-analysis. So this study was published in the American Journal of Nutrition, and researchers followed up with over 350,000 people, alright, over the course of 23 years. And during that time period, 11,000 people actually developed cardiovascular disease. And when researchers looked at all the data, they found that saturated fat intake had 0 correlation with heart disease. So yeah, the belief that saturated fat is unhealthy is nothing but a myth. And if you're not eating enough dietary fat, you're literally depriving your body of the very building blocks it needs to produce optimal levels of testosterone. So how much fat should you eat? Aim for a minimum of 20% of your total calories coming from dietary fat. But other than the quantity of fat, also focus on quality. Stay away from polyunsaturated fats that come from stuff like vegetable oils and seed oils. Also stay away from trans fats that come from candy, chips, and baked goods. So focus getting your fats from sources such as whole eggs, avocados, nuts, olive oil, coconut oil, animal fats, etc. And that brings us to tip number 3. Go out and get some sun. Sunlight provides a natural source of vitamin D, and your vitamin D status is a significant predictor of your testosterone level. Multiple studies have found that men with sufficient levels of vitamin D have significantly higher testosterone levels than men who are deficient in it. And as the time we spend watching Netflix has gone up, the time we spend outdoors has gone down, and a global trend of vitamin D deficiency has emerged. In fact, vitamin D deficiencies are the most prevalent micronutrient deficiency in Western developed countries. And it's literally impossible for you to have optimal levels of testosterone without also having optimal levels of vitamin D. So your first option is to simply spend more time outdoors and soak some sunshine. but the amount of time you would require depends on a number of factors like where you are in the world, what your skin tone is, what the time of day is, etc. Right? And these are the reasons why I like to opt for a vitamin D supplement. Yeah, vitamin D3. I go for 2 of these a day, so it's 4,000 IU per day. But depending on the extent of your current deficiency, you could require way more. But I think most guys would do well with anywhere between a 2,000 to a 5,000 IU dose. But if your levels are significantly low, then you can even try out a 10,000 IU dose, and that will help bring your vitamin D levels up closer to where they should be faster. Tip number 4, ditch the traditional long steady state cardio. Every single day I observe overweight men jogging, working hard, shirts drenched in sweat while they're gasping for air as they jog their way towards a weaker and more fatter version of themselves. Now, this might sound like blasphemy if you're an avid runner, but the fact of the matter is that long traditional steady state cardio is one of the worst, if not the worst, exercises you can do as a man. In a study published in the British Medical Journal, men who consistently ran long distances had lower testosterone levels than even the non-athletic control group. Let that sink in for a moment. The men who exercised by consistently running long distances had lower testosterone levels than the men who didn't even exercise. Why is this the case? Because extended periods of steady state cardio significantly elevates your cortisol level. And cortisol, if you didn't know, is the stress hormone, alright? Your body releases it to mobilize fuel from muscle tissue. And this is why cortisol is considered a catabolic hormone. And cortisol and testosterone hold an inverse relationship, all right? The higher your cortisol levels, the lower your testosterone. And this is because both of these hormones are steroid hormones, and both of them require cholesterol as a foundational building block, all right? So if your body is pumping a lot of cortisol, that means that less cholesterol will be available for your body to produce testosterone. So yeah, there's simply no reason for men to be doing traditional steady state cardio, all right? Unless you absolutely love it. And if you do love jogging or running, whatever it is your preference, then you should stick to the recommendation of keeping no more than 3 sessions per week, and each of them should be kept to less than 45 minutes. And if you've been doing steady state cardio in an attempt to lose fat, then just know that there are significantly more efficient methods which you can achieve the same goal. And I'd recommend that you try out high intensity interval training rather than doing steady state cardio. And that would simply involve you cycling bouts of high intensity with bouts of very low intensity. So for example, you could go out there, sprint for 15 seconds and then walk for 45 seconds and cycle that over 10 to 15 minutes. And high intensity interval training has also been shown to be way more effective at burning fat. But not only that, it also has been shown to have a positive impact on testosterone. So yeah, switch out low steady state cardio with high intensity interval training. Alright, so tip number 5, take a breather. Whether it's work obligations, family obligations, financial concerns, social concerns, we all have something to worry about, alright? We all have some form of stress that we're dealing with. And as we just went over in the previous point, high stress equals high cortisol, which equals lower testosterone. And in a world of constant stimulation where everything and everyone is vying for our attention, it's very important to learn how to effectively deal with it all. For me, this means a daily practice of mindfulness meditation. For you, it might mean a walk in the park, a round of golf, spending quality time with your loved ones. Whatever your way of letting loose is, you've got to allocate a specific amount of time every day that you can unwind, relax, and just let go from all the grind and hustle of everyday life. And if you want to try out meditation, I'd recommend you download a guided meditation app. You can check out Headspace, and that is, I think they offer like a 10-day free trial which you can check out. But the one I've been experimenting with right now is an app called Oak. So you just basically plug in your headphones, sit down in a comfortable position, and just let the person in the headphones guide you, and you can get started as easily with the 5 minutes a day, and that should be enough for you to see tremendous benefits. Alright, tip number 6, lift some heavy ass shit. Testosterone is the primary hormonal driver of muscle growth, as you know, and if you want to maintain a physique that's lean, strong, and powerful, then you've got to make strength training into a regular part of your life. To break it down in the simplest of terms, you have to be strong relative to your body weight, all right? So the best workout really depends on your starting position. So if you're not able to currently do 20 push-ups, 10 pull-ups, and like 30 to 50 body weight squats, I wouldn't even recommend you get a gym membership, all right? Just work out from home, work your way till you can do 20 push-ups with good form, get a pull-up bar, order it from Amazon or whatever, and just crank out pull-ups every day until you can do 10 reps with good form. And at that point, you've built yourself up to a foundational level of strength, and then you can go to the gym and then focus on exercises like the bench press, squat, deadlift, overhead press, barbell row, pull-ups, all these compound exercises which you can get stronger to in relative to your body weight, and that will only raise your testosterone levels and your muscle mass even higher. And at some point, once you've achieved a level of muscular development that you are satisfied with, you don't even have to go to the gym that much. I mean, you can maintain your physique in, let's say, 2 workouts a week, all right? So the hard part is actually getting there, and the easy part is maintaining the results. So yeah, don't make this stuff more complicated than it needs to be. All right, and all of this leads us to the 7th and final point, which is to prioritize your sleep. Because if you do everything else right but fail to get enough high quality sleep every single night, then your testosterone results will be severely limited. And this is because the majority of your body's testosterone is secreted while you sleep, and a lack of sleep significantly inhibits its production. In one study, men who slept for 4 hours had 60% lower testosterone the next day compared to men who slept for 8 hours, all right? And that's just 1 day of sleep deprivation. Compounded over the long term, chronic sleep deprivation can severely dent your natural testosterone production. And in our culture of hustle and grind, sleep has become considered more a luxury than a necessity, all right? But I want you to shift away from this thinking, because you should know that if you want to function near the upper limits of your true potential, then sleep being a priority has to be part of your plan. A good night of sleep boosts your immunity, balances your hormones, improves your cognitive function, heightens fat loss, and provides a host of other health benefits. Alright, so the first factor for you to consider is sleep quantity. So aim for anywhere between 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. For me, I personally try to get 7.5 hours of sleep every night and get a power nap in between the day, which is about 30 minutes. So 8 hours per night per 24-hour cycle is what I aim for. But other than just sleep quantity, you've got to make sleep quality a priority. I mean, it's one thing to get in bed at the right time, but if you're just laying there tossing and turning, then that's going to put a serious dent in your sleep quality. And the simplest way to increase the quality of your sleep is just to cut off screen exposure about 1 hour before bedtime. And by screen exposure, I mean your smartphone, your laptop, and your television, all right? These screens emit a blue light which disrupts your body's natural preparation for sleep. At the very least, turn your phone onto night shift mode and download the f.lux app on your laptop. These two things will reduce the blue light emission from your screens and disrupt your body's natural preparation less, all right? So at the very least, do that. So there you have it, 7 scientifically proven ways to naturally optimize your testosterone levels and move you towards a life of more energy, health, and well-being. And I'll leave you with this, all right? Don't fall for the marketing hype. Don't believe that you need injections, gels, pills, pellets, or supplements to increase your testosterone levels. Simply practice intermittent fasting, eat more dietary fat, soak some sunshine, ditch the cardio, ease your stress, practice resistance training, and make sleep a priority. Take these steps, and not only will it naturally increase your testosterone levels, but it'll also make you a more grounded and powerful version of yourself. That's it for this video, and I'll see you soon.